Hey everyone, it's Suzanne, and I want to thank you for joining us for the Suzy podcast, where we help you build a business out of the hobby you love. You will also be able to get the show notes and the links we reference by visiting us at sosuzypodcast.com. Regardless if you're on a design team, make cards for fun, or sell them throughout the year, having a craft room or craft space set up properly can not only save you time, but help you find success. If you have limited time to create or working to a deadline, the last thing you need is mundane tasks setting you back. However, if your space and supplies are prepped properly, you will have more time to create. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the 10 ways you can set your craft room up for success. 1. Pre-cut and score your card bases. If you have a lot of card bases you want cut, consider taking them to Kinko, Staples, or Office Max. It will cost you only pennies to have them cut, but make sure you have them do a test run first. The Office Max by my house ruined hundreds of first layers because I did not have them do a test batch. If you're close to a Kinko's, I would recommend going there first. I have heard only wonderful things about their cutting quality. To save time on scoring, score the cardstock before you have the bases cut. This will cut the quantity you have to do in half and save you time. 2. Do the same with your first and second layers. I have an industrial paper cutter and I will cut white and ivory first and second layers. This saves me so much time when it comes to preparing for card classes or just sitting down to make cards. I keep them right at my workspace in little drawers so I can grab and create. 3. Have and use your MISTI. The MISTI is truly the most valuable stamping tool you can have in your arsenal. Use her. Not only will she make it easier for you to stamp, but she will save you time and paper. If an image doesn't stamp all the way, no worries. If you're using your MISTI, you can ink it up and restamp, especially when it comes to silhouette stamps. No more worrying about destroying your paper, flipping it over, or ruining your card at the very end. The MISTI has your back. If you are making multiples of the same card, your MISTI will make you look like a rock star and save you tons of time in the process. 4. Keep your most used supplies at hand's reach. This is your MISTI, tape, black ink, dimensionals, or foam tape, baby wipes or stamp cleaner, scissors, paper trimmer, anything that you personally need to have continuously. There is nothing that can slow you down more than missing essentials. If you do a lot of embossing, keep your embossing buddy and Versamark at your workstation. Don't store them elsewhere. 5. If you love using Nuvo crystal drops, pre-make them so you don't have to wait for them to dry on your projects. I use the dimensional backing sheet to pre-make mine on. I always do a row of small, medium, and large. I can then use a glue dot to adhere them to my card. Not only does this save time, but it makes it so much more convenient to use them. 6. If you love to color images and cut them out to place on your cards, try stamping a slew of them onto a sheet of paper and color as needed, or color them all up in advance. If you have a scan and cut them out and store them for when they're needed. Now you won't have to worry about not having enough time to color and create a card all in one sitting. This is especially helpful for those of you who have only pops of time to create. 7. Invest in a scan and cut. It may sound pricey and scary, but how much do you spend on coordinating dies for your images? Do you really want to stand there and crank out 100 ornaments for Christmas cards? Definitely not my idea of a good time. And certainly don't hand me a pair of scissors to fussy cut them out. A scan and cut not only saves you money, but it saves you time and painful fussy cutting finger pain. 8. Keep a card journal. This can be really helpful if you are a blogger or on a design team. Sometimes it's easier to whip out a few cards at one time and then post them later. But it's a nightmare if you can't remember which green ink you used or Copic colors you used for her hair. By keeping a card journal on your desk, it makes it so easy to log and go. Now when it's time to blog or create the video list, you have it in one spot and it's all together. You can even kill two birds with one stone. As soon as you log something, put it away. Which brings us to number 9. This may be the hardest step to do, but keep your work area tidy. At the very least, have a space cleared for stamping. In all honesty, Marsha's advice last week was spot on. It is so much easier to find inspiration when your work area is tidy and inviting. It almost feels like my work desk is calling me to come visit and make a card. Even if all you do before being done is clear off the items that you don't use every time. Put your paper scraps in the scrap drawer. Tuck away your heat gun. Put the inks away. Not only will this give you more time to create, but it won't be a chore to make a card when you do have time. Number 10 goes hand in hand with keeping your work area tidy, and that's organize your supplies in a way that works for you, but is also convenient. Keep your dies and embossing folders near your big shot. Make sure the embossing powders are with your heat gun. Keep your foil near the foil mates and laminator. Instead of putting your mini inks in tins, use an acrylic drawer so that you can see them all together. If you use a lot of layering stamps, keep your favorite layering inks together so you won't have to hunt them and try to match them back up again. Or you can keep the color combos in your card journal. Same with your Copic colors list. Don't rely on your memory. Organize your thoughts by writing them down in one spot so you can quickly reference it. All of these suggestions will help set you up for success. But if you only do 1 or 2, it's so worth your time. Just determine where you need the most help and put it to work for you. Try pre-cutting your card bases. Pre-cut your white and ivory first and second layers. Use your MISTI. Keep your most used supplies at your fingertips. Pre-make Nuvo crystal drops. Pre-stamp the images you'll want to color. Invest in a scan and cut. Keep a card journal. Tidy up your workspace after every use. Organize your supplies. Let us know what you do to make your crafting life easier in our show notes or on our Facebook page. And before we go, we have a new segment on our Friday podcast. Every Friday, we'll be bringing you a helpful tip from you, our listeners. If you would like to contribute a tip, please join our Facebook group and let us know what yours is. Today's tip is sponsored by My Sweet Petunia and the incredible Misty. Victoria Moore-Beal says, "Be patient. Never give up. The trash can is your last resort. Keep at a project. It usually turns out differently than you expect, and you may even like it more. And above all, have fun." Thank you for the tip, Victoria, and she is so right. You never know what you have until it's finished. Even if you have to walk away and come back to it, keep at it and have fun. And until next time, this is Suzanne, and you have been listening to the So Suzy podcast. Happy stamping!